our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv. Dan, we just reported that comment by Iran's foreign minister that there will be no talks with the U.S., but the White House did get a special visitor today who might have known otherwise. Tell us about that.
The visitor is the president of Switzerland. His name is Wally Maurer. The White House did not invite cameras to come in. There was no statement from the two presidents, but we have to keep in mind that without diplomatic relations, the U.S. and Iran often communicate through Switzerland. It's the Swiss embassy in Tehran that represents U.S. interests. And the White House is not denying that President Trump was trying to send a message. One official here said it's a message that Iran has to change its behavior. A reporter in the Rose Garden, as you heard, managed to shout a question at President Trump, right? Are we going to war with Iran? And the president said, hope not. Michelle?
Dan, what can we expect from the Senate briefing on Iran that's scheduled for next week?
Well, frankly, Democrats especially want more information. I think we find, in fact, Republicans also would like more, but of course they trust President Trump and his White House. The Democrats are really uncertain, and they're acting as though they're performing kind of a public service. The Democrats say, remember the invasion of Iraq 16 years ago? Everyone, just about everyone in America now thinks that was a mistake based on false intelligence. But, you know, Democrats are fascinated by the reports that some of the president's advisors are being more militant, more pushy, maybe toward war. The Democrats mention especially John Bolton, the national security advisor. And you heard Speaker Pelosi say she's encouraged to understand that President Trump actually is in no rush to go to war. So there was a briefing, an intelligence briefing for the so-called Gang of Eight, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, the leaders of the House and the Senate. They got some intelligence information about Iran and what the threatening behavior was that the U.S. saw and apparently has set all this off. But then the Democrats said, we'd like a bigger briefing, please. And so the Senate, at least, is getting a classified briefing. That's right, 100 members, supposedly classified, this coming Tuesday. Michelle?
All right, Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it, as always. Dan Raviv, live for us in Washington, D.C.